George Kilpatrick Inspiration for the Nation, celebrating people we feel good about. Lisa Alford is the CEO of ACR Health, agency in the community. Lisa, what does ACR Health do?
ACR Health is the premier agency in central New York that serves people with complex health conditions and chronic diseases. As you know, we're celebrating our 40th anniversary, and we started out focusing on persons with HIV and with AIDS, but now we are doing that work and we've enhanced to serve even broader audiences that have complex and chronic health conditions.
Yeah, I mean, you started with HIV and AIDS, and you've come a long way, baby.
Come a long way, yes. And so has the way in which people are treated. 40 years ago, this organization started out with being totally volunteer run and serving people and supporting them, unfortunately, as they were frequently dying with HIV, with AIDS. And medications and research has changed so much that now, in many instances, people are really living with HIV and AIDS as a chronic health condition, and so we can continue to support them and do outreach. But in fact, this past week was Prep Awareness Week, and that's one of the medications that someone could take if they had high risk sexual practices, that even if they were exposed to someone with HIV or AIDS, that would reduce the likelihood of them even contracting HIV and AIDS. And so that is something that is, a game changer in the way in which people are treated. Not to mention the cocktail of medications that persons that do have HIV or AIDS can take to reduce the ability of it moving from HIV to AIDS. And so it's, while we really think of those who were there 40 some years ago and how everything has changed, we're so grateful for the changes that have occurred and allow us to serve persons differently. And as I said, with other complex and chronic health conditions that many times have similar stigmas with them. Certainly there was a huge stigma when persons had HIV and AIDS. We see similar types of things now with persons with dealing with addiction, people that have even died from an overdose. Many people many times are reluctant to share. There's so much stigma, and so we want to serve and seek to serve people in ways in which it really is an affirming environment and is stigma free. And we also want to make sure that people are getting equitable services. What one community may need may be very different. So we really use data to determine where are we doing our outreach, maybe what are the ways in which we engage with communities to make sure that they are receptive to what it is that we are sharing, and we're sharing it in a way that is respectful of their communities.
We'll talk about your event fundraiser coming up on November 9th. But one of the things you said to me, and I didn't catch all of it, but it was two things. One was what you're working on as an agency, but the other thing you alluded to was data regarding Black women. Can you say more
Mhm.
about that?
Well, one of the things that the data is showing, especially as it relates to HIV and AIDS, nationally, Black women have a higher rate of HIV infection, not infection, but contracting HIV. That's nationally. And many people don't know that. Many Black and brown women do not know their risk, do not know the types of things that they can do, medications that may be out here that could protect them. If they do feel as though they are with partners that might be more high risk for them. The other thing is that we want them to know about various medications that may be out here that potentially could protect them from that. Here in New York State, I will say, though, it's a little bit different. What the data is showing us that we've got a higher rate of Black and brown men who have sex with men, who are the reason why we may see that higher rate of those persons contracting HIV and AIDS here in New York State. But nationally, you see that higher rate with Black women, but here in New York State, it's men having sex with men. And I specifically use that terminology versus saying gay men, because it's not always persons who are necessarily identified with as being gay. It may be persons that once or twice a year may have sex with another man, but don't necessarily identify as being gay.
Yeah, and that's a whole other thing because some people say, well, once you did that, but we're talking about how people self-identify in these populations, and it's very critical. And it's interesting, Lisa. We're seeing so much data around Black women at the lower end of so many health categories, and to what might you attribute that when you talk to your colleagues across disciplines?
It varies depending on what the issues are, but certainly one of the things that we see is that many times you've got disproportionate women and children that are in poverty. That certainly can be part of it, but it certainly isn't the only thing. Sometimes it's people not knowing or having access to certain health services, but that's not all of it either. Even in many instances, when you account for those types of things, you still sometimes see disproportionate and poor outcomes. So then you have to look at the systems that folks are engaging with. How are they engaging with people? When people do come and express concerns, are they told about all the options that they may have? Similarly, we look at that in our organization. We're constantly looking at ways in which we can make ourselves better. And we look at, how do we engage with people? Who are we currently serving? Who should we be serving when we look at some of that data? What can we do to do more targeted outreach and engagement in particular communities? Are there language differences that we may need to take into account to make sure, and cultural differences that we need to be aware of and trained on and evaluate to make sure that people feel comfortable coming to us? One of my goals is, since I came, is that we be the agency of choice for people who are have complex and chronic health conditions, that they want to come here, that they get the types of services that they need. And, that's our goal.
And Lisa, you also, the other part of it is, you've been there, what, over a year now? Is it just
actually a little bit over 2 years now?
Oh, 2 years. They seem like yesterday, right?
Yes. Yes.
And so you've been working on some things. What have you been working on in addition to the Zero Proof Affair, which we will get to on November 9th at 6 p.m. Go ahead.
Yes. So we've also been working on a strategic plan. Really that's where our staff and our board and many of our community partners have had the opportunity to give us feedback on what it is they feel are the pressing needs and where do we want to position ACR Health to really be able to serve those communities that we talked about, people with those complex and chronic health conditions, and in particular, some of those special populations, whether it's men having sex that have sex with men, whether it's LGBTQIA plus community, whether it's persons that are homeless and housing vulnerable, whether it's Black and Brown communities. We have those special niche areas that we want to make sure, because we frequently see where those persons have disproportionate poor outcomes when it comes to healthcare. They do not find sometimes their interactions with the healthcare system affirming, and so many times people don't go or don't continue going because they don't have positive experiences. Or when they do share information, sometimes they aren't listened to, and so as a result, they may not be aware of all of their options. So we not only want to make sure when people come to us that they have good experiences, but our staff actually also go out and train, whether it's school systems, doctors' offices, and businesses that want to really make sure that they are prepared to serve people from various communities and to serve them well. So we do trainings for all sorts of folks, businesses, as I said, doctors' offices, schools, what have you.
All right, so get to do all of that, you need to have some resources, and
You've got to have some resources to do it, and certainly the grants and that we receive do not cover all that we need to be able to serve people and to serve them well. And so, as you have mentioned, this is our 40th anniversary of ACR Health, so we're really excited about that, and we're going to be celebrating it in a big way. We've got our first Zero Proof Affair, and zero proof means that it's non-alcoholic. And we will actually be having various zero proof spirits that people will have an opportunity to taste. And we're going to have some mixologists from the community who are going to be having shared their recipe, and we will prepare their tastings. This is all on November 9th from 6 to 9 at the Red House Arts Complex. And we'll be able to vote, though, on which mixologist, which drink we like the best. And the audience, we will be the ones and voting. And we're going to have a salsa band and salsa dancing. We'll be able to learn some salsa and do it in an environment that everyone can have a good time.
You would say it's a Latin themed evening. You have Grupo Pagan, La Familia de la Salsa, Latin food. I guess there'll be some peas and rice there. I know there'll be some peas and rice.
Yes, we've got food to go along with the evening, and we are really excited about it. And we would just want to encourage everyone, get your tickets now, because we know it's going to be a fun evening, and it's going towards a great cause. And this will really help us continue and serving folks in the community that many times don't get the services that they need. And we want to make sure that we can do that very well.
Excuse me, acrhealth.org is the website. We'll have a link in this video as well and online. November 9th, 6 to 9 at the Red House Arts Center, the brand new complex that's finally finished. Now you don't have to go through the cardboard.
It's beautiful. This beautiful space. So we're excited about that. And then for many people, this will be their first time going.
Right. We should say the Red House is downtown Syracuse on South Salina Street. For the old school folks, the old Sibley's building, if you remember that, on the corner, let's go with Jefferson, on the corner of Jefferson Street
and Jefferson and Salina. Yes,
yep, right on that
400 South Salina Street.
400 South Salina Street. There you go. Because even though we can say all of that, people are going to put it in their navigator. How are we going to get there? 400 South Salina Street. And you have the Zero Proof fundraiser for ACR Health, 6 to 9 p.m. at the Red House Arts Center.
Tickets are $125. And even if you can't come, we encourage you to make a donation so you can still support the life-changing work that we're doing here at ACR Health.
There you go. And that's spoken from Lisa Alford, who is the CEO. You heard all of the different ways. And by the way, ACR Health is not just in Syracuse. Lisa, where else are you?
We have offices in Utica as well as in Watertown. So we're serving that 9-county region in the central New York area. So the work that we do actually goes beyond just the Onondaga County, this community here, all the way up to Jefferson County, going up towards Watertown. So it benefits those communities as well.
So hello to Andrea at Wanda C. I saw her the other day, and she made sure she handed me one of these.
Very good.
And I said, oh, I got to get Lee. In fact, I think I had already talked to you. She's your COO, I believe.
Yes, she's our COO.
Yeah. So I said, no, I already talked to Lisa. I'm going to have her on. We're going to help you get people to this event. So
and we're very appreciative. Yes.
November 9th, 6 to 9 at the Red House, 400 South Salina Street, acrhealth.org. And if you want more information, you can call ACR Health. Should they call the number on your flyer, or you want them to call the office? How you want to do it?
You can call the number that's on the flyer, but let me give it to you anyway. It's 315-475-2430. Again,
315-475-2430. And by the way, do you still have the 800 number, 475-2430? Do you still have that? So, I mean, though you don't need it anymore. But anyway, if you needed it, you got it now.
If you need it, you got it.
All right. All right, Lisa, anything else we need to know about this mocktail affair celebrating 40 years of ACR Health with Latin food, La Familia de la Salsa, Latin dance, and Grupo Pagan for live music? Anything else we need to know about this or ACR Health?
We need everyone to know that we need them to make sure that we continue to provide this life-changing work. So get your tickets or make your donation online, and we look forward to seeing everyone.
That's Lisa Alford, CEO, ACR Health, Inspiration for the Nation.